The COVID-19 pandemic has made for a very interesting 2020. People had to get creative and find ways to keep themselves entertained. Some became obsessed with baking, so much so that in some areas flour became scarce. Another popular activity that rose back into the spotlight was roller skating. The sport dates back to 1743 and quickly gained traction once again during the pandemic. However, it is very important to know that roller skating maintained a strong role in the Black community when it may have died out in others. As roller skating slowly faded from the spotlight, so did roller rinks. The low-cost activity began to disappear and skating communities shrunk. There is only one roller skating rink within a 50-mile radius of my hometown. Skate City Bellevue has been open since 1970. Admission ranges from $5 to $7 with a $2 rental fee for quad skates and a $3 rental fee for inline skates.
So can you please introduce yourself?
Sure, my name is David Frank. I'm the owner of Skate City. We've been here since January 1st of 2015. Previous to that, the name of the company was called Skate Land, and that opened in 1970. So the building's been here since 1970, and it's always been a roller skating rink.
Do you personally skate?
I do. Yep, I
long?
teach all of our classes, and I've been skating since I was about 5.5 years old.
How has the pandemic affected business here?
It's affected us kind of like it's affected a lot of small businesses that are person-to-person contact. It's hurt us quite a bit. We were shut down for almost 12 weeks, and I have been able to reopen, and now that with the new resurgence, we're down to 25% capacity. Especially this time of the year, normally we would hit, but we still don't even hit that. People are still reserved about coming out into the general public and having family activities involving other people.
With the pandemic, roller skating has become very popular again. Has that helped in the slightest at all, or?
The sales of roller skate have escalated. For a lot of people skating outdoors, that's what we've had a lot of requests for, was outdoor wheels during the spring and summertime. So it's helped parts sales as far as that until they all ran out and everything was coming from China, and so it's hard to get obviously stuff from there. But the skating indoors, we haven't seen that resurgence. I wish we could, but we still haven't seen that yet. Well, we got some government assistance, and we're very frugal in how we operate. I do a lot of things myself now where I hadn't had to do in a long time, like clean floors and DJ and just different things like that, to help cut payroll and our costs, keep our costs down. Yeah, we operate on very few things just to make sure that we can stay open and try to get through this.
Do you hope skating continues to rise in popularity?
Absolutely, 100%. It's a lost art. If you look back in the late 60s all the way up through the late 80s, it was the most popular sport and family activity in the United States. And now it's not even thought of in a lot of families. And we hope that we can get that popularity back, and because it is something that you can do for a lifetime. We teach class for 2-year-olds, and currently we have people in their 70s that are skating still. Roller skating is something you can do for a lifetime. It's very low impact on your joints, so the older you get, the easier it is to do, and it's a fun activity. It's something that helps build motor skills and coordination, self-confidence, and it's a great activity to do not only with friends but with family as well.
All right.
Many skate shops have been sold out of skates and skate-related products for a while now. Skates of different price ranges are all on pre-order as people rush to join the trend. Even though roller skating has become mainstream, it is important to remember its strong roots in the Black community.
For the Black community, skating never died out. Roller rinks remained a place to bond and have fun.
It had a lot to do with young Black Americans finding a release, finding a place to go and play and be themselves and create and be safe at the same time.
The most glamorous moment of the modern era came during that same time, when the legendary Bill Butler invented the now ubiquitous technique called jamming.
Jamming is dancing on skates all over the place, all over the rink. The concept is learning and understanding how to utilize space.
Known as the godfather of roller disco, Bill Butler's moves have become iconic, consulting for nearly every roller skating film, including Roll Bounce.
I took the concept of walking and made all the adjustments that were necessary to deal with the stride. So you get a melting pot of style. Only do you realize that when you go to a city where these multiple skating styles are all in the same building.
I think it's blowing up just because it's the new thing, they say. Skating's been around for decades. It originated from the Black people. We should have credit where credit's due. Black culture and skating go hand in hand. This journey of me learning to skate and then learning the history of roller skating as it pertains to the Black community, it's been really cool to learn. To learn more about the history of outdoor roller skating in LA, I met up with James Rich, AKA Buck Wild. He began skating in the 80s at Venice Beach alongside a group of primarily Black skaters who gained global recognition for their dancing. They still meet up to skate every week.
We had been arrested for skating because our music sometimes was too loud, or they were coming up with any excuse whatsoever to stop us from being able to have this fun, because they saw a bunch of African Americans congregating in one spot and they felt this can get out of hand any second. And they were right. There were Bloods and Crips and all of them, but when they came to this skate area, it was almost like they dropped the flag. You didn't see a bunch of gang violence right there. All you saw was people coming together to just have a great time. But the police didn't believe that. I say, if you're curious about it, try it. You might like it.
The pandemic hasn't been good for all areas of roller skating. Roller derby, a high-contact sport on 8 wheels, has taken a hit. Starting in 1935, the sport, although faded from most traditional media, is still very much alive. When playing, each team has 1 jammer and 4 blockers. The jammer, indicated by a helmet panty with a pattern, usually a star. The jammer must earn points by passing members of the opposite team. The blockers must try to stop the opposing team's jammer. Abby, a skate tip coach, has over 11,000 followers on Instagram and TikTok. She posts various videos on roller skating and roller derby.
Okay, well, hi. In the internet world, I am Goya Destroya, but my social media just says Goya usually. My real name is Abby.
How long have you been roller skating?
Okay, I've been roller skating for, I think it's officially 6 years now, or it could be more close to 7 at this point, but I'm pretty sure it's been about 6 years. Whenever I started, I was kind of like a wall hugger. So I called myself I was like a baby giraffe on skates. But I joined the local roller derby team and I was like, I want to be like you all, but I'm not good. And they're like, don't worry, we'll teach you. So I rollerbladed whenever I was little in elementary school, but I definitely had a long, long pause from when I started up again.
How has the pandemic affected roller derby?
We're not playing. We're not meeting up. I feel like it kind of affects all the leagues a little bit different. So for my league, I live in Tulsa, Oklahoma, specifically my region too. I live in Oklahoma, so we're not playing, we're not practicing. Some team members are meeting up and still skating, and we try to stay active within our private social media channels, and we're still trying to keep that connection up. But unfortunately, we've kind of been at a halt. Our organization, so kind of like the NFL, like the National Football League, we have some roller derby teams have their own called WIFTA, which is Women's Flat Track Roller Derby Association. And they came up with a really awesome plan for how to ease your way back in. We have a 3-tier system, and Oklahoma really hasn't passed all of our stats aren't even approving us to be in tier 1 of coming back. When we do come back, it will have to be no contact. So we'll have to ease back into it. But currently we are at a halt.
So is there no way to even try and do just practice in general, just like complete separation from the team?
Well, so there are ways. A lot of us do go find some type of smooth surface outside to skate at. Some people are going to the rinks. I personally am not, because I just don't want to be inside. But a lot of us are finding smooth areas, and we'll meet up unofficially, and we'll do like footwork drills, or work on our endurance or things like that. I'm skating on kind of like, we have like this really awesome riverside trail, so I'll go and skate there, or I'll find little ways to challenge myself. So yeah, we'll do like footwork drills or things like that, and we'll try to meet up with a few people and keep our distance. And that actually, I don't think a lot of people realize the benefit of working on the small stuff. So I definitely think it will pay off for when we do get to go back and into our seasons.
When the pandemic ends, do you think that roller derby will grow, since roller skating has grown so much during quarantine?
I would like to say yes. I think it's going to, personally. I've already noticed, even on my social media platforms, that people are reaching out to me and asking about it. People are asking other league members on their social media platforms. People are private messaging, us asking if we are going to start up pretty soon. We are talking about, are there ways to come back safely? So I have a feeling that it is going to increase like our recruitment numbers and things like that. And a lot of people will conveniently have gear, because unfortunately it can get a little pricey to get yourself started. So I think it will, a lot of people will have a really solid base and may try out roller derby.
Is there anything you'd like to say to someone who's thinking about starting roller derby but doesn't know if, like, maybe I'll get hurt too much, whatever the deal might be?
Yeah, no, totally. So my advice is, if you want to do it, there's nothing wrong with just finding if there's a league somewhere near you and going to the recruitment night or reaching out to them. A lot of the times, a lot of your worries will get answered if you just go to that space and it's like that first step. So take the first step is what I recommend, because you know your body, and you'll know if it is too much or if it's not your jam, but at least you gave it a try. So that's my first advice. But then if you're like, okay, I'm all in, I'm gonna do it, then my second piece of advice is really spend the time building that foundation. So like I said earlier, small things that maybe seem trivial, like having a really solid stop, having good balance, working on little tiny footwork, that really pays off in the long run. So if you are interested in skating and you're like, what can I possibly do? We don't go into the hitting right away, because you have to be able to take that hit and still have some balance, ideally. Sometimes we still get sent flying. But that's my advice to anybody is don't overlook those small things, because they're actually a lot bigger than you may realize.
Needless to say, roller skating will continue to stay trendy throughout the rest of the COVID-19 pandemic. Even if the trend dies out, roller skating will continue to be a huge part of many people's lives.
Hope you know I'm trying to see it through. 6 figures for the whip. No chance, you catch me down bad. P90, aim straight for your head. Calling on my bitch, and she know she at the top of the list, and she put up with